Parashat Parah, but I'm not going to talk about the parasha. I'm going to talk about the revolution. No, we're going to talk about the concept behind the Parah Aduma. So this is more of like a almost philosophical Musar self-improvement kind of an idea, rather than Rashi said, this one said, and so on and so forth. Okay, so which is this parasha is well, the concept of Parah Aduma is a very, very important. It's almost a central philosophical point in Avodat Hashem, in understanding, in the spiritual process of the individual. It is a very, very important point to understand. And in order to try to understand it, we need to discuss or talk about the nature of lacking in our lives. You know, when we don't have this and we don't have that in our lives. In regular human perception, not having something, lacking something, is considered to be as a negative thing. Right? I don't have it, I need to have it, and so on and so forth. That feeling of lacking causes a certain feeling of discomfort and lack of internal quiet. For example, you see in certain communities, without mentioning names, right, Donnie? You know, one Mashadi or Persian moved to Great Neck. I said I'm not going to mention. Sorry. One person moved to Great Neck. Everybody felt that they're missing out, so everybody else is moving. Not because they really want to move there. It's because they're feeling like they're missing on something. Chavod. So why did you move to Great Neck, doctor? I thought so. Don't blush. Don't blush. Listen, this is like take no prisoners here. You know, anyway, a person doesn't like to, nobody likes to feel, almost nobody likes to feel like they missing something or something is, then that's, by the way, why we so get into grief and great feeling of sorrow when Chaz v'Shalom somebody dies. It's lacking. I mean, we should be happy that somebody dies, right? I mean, he's going to a better place, isn't he? If we really believe he's going to a better place. But we are crying for ourselves because something dear to us has been missing or is going to be missing from our lives, and so on and so forth. So that in a way could also turn the whole concept of what we say in Kaddish altogether. We say in Kaddish, we will not forget the person, so we will feel that we're still having something. Slowly, we're being weaned out of the person, as they say. You know, it changes the whole thing around. So when we feel that something is missing among, inside of us, we feel like a big abyss was open on the bottom, a big sinkhole was opening right there in front of us, and that sinkhole was imperfection. We feel not whole. We feel like something is missing. We're not harmonized and now you understand why people who are obsessed in buying and shopping and consuming, another reason, by the way, why we're feeling so unhappy, because we're always being exposed to the feeling that we don't have it and we need to get it, so therefore we never feel happy. We never feel happy. I have to get that. New telephone came out, I don't know, Galaxy 15. Woo, we gotta have it. What's wrong with your telephone? No, you gotta have it. Why do you gotta have it? Well, I'm surprised you don't have it. I'm pretty fine with what I have. It's always like that. It's always in your face, and we feel horrible. And you think it only ends there? No, it goes into degrees. Let's say a person, I have to have a PhD. Why do you have to have a PhD? Why do you have to have a PhD? Find a job that can give you some income so you could live comfortably. I'm not saying comfortably like, rich and famous, because it's a very uncomfortable life, by the way. But you live comfortably, you can pay your bills, and then you can become an expert in whatever you want without getting a PhD. Let's say you want to become you're very interested in Japanese culture. So become an expert, who's stopping you? Get books, read it, What do you need to do? You need to stand in front of people and show them how much you know, like a professor in college? Isn't that what it's all about? No wonder a lot of the professors have an ego the size of the Eiffel Tower. It's like, without making a Freudian analysis to the Eiffel Tower and other erected things, but that's basically what they get. It's the same level of, like, let's call it a mental orgasm. Everybody's listening to me. I'm the boss here. It's not because you really want it. So you feel something is missing in you. And then it keeps on going and going and going. It's endless. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing to live life like that. It's horrific. I always feel I need to have something. I need to have something. I know a guy who has 3 doctorates. It's not 3 doctorates. He has 2 doctorates, 2 PhDs, and he's an MD also. What do you need that for? For what? I mean, you can only do one thing at a time. You can't cut the person's brain and do counseling at the same time. That's not going to work. One thing at a time. On that, Chazal told us, tafasta merubeh lo tafasta. You try to grab the whole thing, you end up with nothing. Get something, and then you become an expert in whatever you want to do afterwards. So, do me a favor, call your grandfather, tell him I'm in the middle. Okay? So,
upstairs?
I don't know where he is. Just
I don't know.
here, take his number. 1 second. You're giving the number. So when we feel that, right? And this is a very, very sharp point. The Mekubalim come and tell us, as Mekubalim usually do, they turn everything upside down. The Mekubalim come and turn everything upside down. And they say that, and listen, the beauty of Kabbalah, it helps us see things in the true light of things, like almost the reality of things. In other words, what it makes us realize is what we see and what we feel is not really the reality. It is some kind of a misconception of the reality, but this is not really what it is. The Mekubalim explain that the lacking, not having something, is the vessel that is necessary in order to reveal the light. Or they reveal, let's call, what's important in you. Argument's sake. Let's say a person has a good friend. He takes for granted, or father, or mother. He takes for granted. But then they've been taken away from him. And all of a sudden he misses that. So guess what happened? That lacking, now you realize how important those people were. Not having Bet HaMikdash. I think we kind of forgot already about Bet HaMikdash, I'll tell you the truth, honestly. Because by the actions that we do, we don't seem to really, care about that. Otherwise, again, as I told you before, whether it's UNESCO or whether it's the EU, they're trying to go with the Palestinian trend of removing any historical Jewish claim on the Temple Mount. I don't see any Jews crying up and down on that. When we put the petition for people to sign, how many people sign? 40? 50? And what does that mean? That most of the people don't care. They don't care. Nobody cares. You don't care. Nobody cares. Did you ever think about the fact that maybe in your lifetime you were never going to be able to step on the Temple Mount? You don't care. What do you care? What do you care? You don't care about anything. Let me see you, if somebody squats into your house, you're going to wreak havoc on everything. You're going to bring down a tornado on everything. But that's a house. That's not the house of God. You don't care. So, but when the chisaron, the leken, is a vessel to reveal the light. And any revelation of another, call it lacking, is a preparation to receive more light in your life. What are we talking about? In order for us to reach a influence, hashpa'ah, that from above, or abundance from above, and the dvekut, and the dedication to get closer, to attach ourselves to the will of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, in order for us to deal appropriately with all the things that we are lacking in our lives, instead of chasing an endless and hopeless race of trying to fulfill all our needs and to fulfill our desire to always receive, let's turn the wheel around. Let's influence other. Let's give to other. Let's give from ourselves to other. You just don't understand. You thought that if you don't have it, you should try to pursue in all means to reach your, what is it that you don't have? But you don't understand. It's like a carrot in front of a donkey. You're never going to reach it. Never. So you got yourself a house in Great Neck, right? So what's going to be the next? You want a house in the Hamptons? What's next? You want a house in the Caribbean? What's next? What's next? What's after that? What's after that? What's after that? It's never going to be enough. And you're going to die out of this world and not saying, Baruch Hashem, I have. I saw one time, a very, it was a film, some kind of like, so-called primitive people. And a woman was saying, we lost everything. We lost our house, we lost our farm, we lost our animals, we lost this, we lost that, we lost this, we lost that. And the guy says to her, but you have your husband, and you have yourself, and you have your kids, and you have everything. So why are you complaining? So instead of trying to fulfill those lacking of you, try to give. And you'll see that there is to give. My grandmother, Aleh Shalom, used to say, if you think that you are so poor and you're so really like have it bad, that the only thing that you have to eat is sunflower seeds. And turn around, at that moment, turn around and look back, you'll see that somebody worse than you, he is actually picking up the shells and eating the shells that you throw away. So you're not so bad. Give to others. The way to see that is to give to others. And this is how you are connecting to what is so-called, when we say Torah Hashem Timima, when we deal with the Torah, it has to be Tamim. Tamim doesn't mean like innocent. Tamim means whole, complete. Emunah has to be complete. What does that mean? We have Chukim, and Rabbi Yehuda Levi in the Sefer HaKuzari says there are two different types of laws. They have the Chukim and there are those Mishpatim. Chukim is those things everybody knows. Chukim are those things that we don't know what they are. Mishpatim, it makes sense. Yes, there are mitzvot, there are shmiatiyot, you listen, and there are mitzvot tzichliyot. The brain tells you, okay, it makes sense. Help your neighbor to unpack his donkey. Okay, it makes sense. Give tzedakah, makes sense. Paraduma, doesn't make sense. Sharpness, doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. By the way, you guys are learning kilayim. You know why it's called kilayim, not to do kilayim? You know what kilayim? Kilayim means lichlo, to imprison. Imprison certain qualities. So you think about that. When I'm taking, okay, so maybe that's the reason why I can reason, maybe that's why I cannot breed a donkey and a horse, because I'm going to imprison certain attributes. They're not going to be able to multiply. Okay? I'm not going to allow, if I'm going to take a plum and a peach, I'm not going to allow the plum to become a plum and the peach to become a peach. I'm creating an nectarine. I'm imprisoning something. Okay, so I could even understand that if I want. But paraduma, it is the ultimate does not make sense mitzvah. Doesn't make sense. Why a cow? Why red? Why the ashes? Why the mixture of the ashes and the hyssop or oregano, whatever you want to call this thing? And why is it that whoever purifies with it becomes impure himself? So if I'm pure and I'm going to purify Yeshua, I become tameh, he becomes tahor. It does not make sense. The whole thing doesn't make sense. You don't understand. You think that you need to know everything, but you're missing out on something. The Kadosh Baruch Hu told us one time, Im bechukotai timasu b'mitzvotai tegael nafshechem. If you're going to say on my chukim, on the things that you don't understand, leave me alone. I don't need this. It's stupid. Doesn't make sense. I don't do things that don't make sense. I don't do it. Doesn't make sense. I don't do it. I understand kibud avayim. I understand this, but I don't understand. I don't do. Right? Like regular Israeli. I don't understand. Right? Doesn't make sense, so I don't do it. However, you're missing out on a great opportunity. What's the great? Now, look at what we said previously on NCIS. What we said that lecking is a way to actually reveal the light. It's a vessel to hold on the light, so you can actually see the light through it. When was the last time that you did something without looking for a reward, somewhat of another? Not necessarily a monetary reward, even saying, no, Yeshua, thank you, you're the man, or Yoav, you're the man, or Zalman, and so on and so forth. How much do I owe you? Man, Shlomo, I owe you big time. Thank you so much for that. Or, guys, Sam, and so on and so forth, right? I don't need to go everybody now and say that. But you know what I'm saying. It's a reward. You do something because, like a Kadosh Baruch Hu does. When you do something of that nature, that you don't understand, something that you don't understand, you have an opportunity to do mitzvah lishma. I don't understand it. I'm doing it full-heartedly. Because in anything that I understand, I could manipulate it one way or another to maybe I get a reward. No, I get olam haba. I told you, I heard one time my neighbor telling his wife, they made the few shidduchim, 3 shidduchim, I don't remember. He said to her, honey, next shidduch we're making, they're getting us a red carpet in olam haba. And I said, you fool. They're going to give you a red carpet? Yeah, maybe, but they're also going to give you a vacuum cleaner to clean it up from your ga'ava that you're spreading all over the place. You're staining your red carpet with your arrogance. So, when you do a mitzvah, lishma, means I don't know what's the reason. I'm doing it for no ulterior motives. That's the lishma. It is something that is so far from us to do. Because we always have an ulterior motive. With no ulterior motives. I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. How many people keep Shabbat because they don't want to burn in hell? How many people put tefillin on because they have to? Because Kadosh Baruch Hu, Olam Haba, do it. But when he's going to say, my neighbor's, you want to put tefillin because you want to tie yourself to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. I can explain tefillin, but you don't understand. When it says to us in bechukotai timasu, if you're going to push away, Allah Ma'usa, it's like, who needs this? At the end, you're going to even do the mitzvot, even the mitzvot that makes sense to you. At the end, you're going to push away. At the end, you're not going to keep that. That's the reason. And look at the secular Jews. At the beginning they started with those mitzvot. They threw it away as a primitive. Korbanot, that primitive. We don't eat korbanot anymore. Listen, I'm a vegan. I don't care about eating meat. But korbanot, the Torah says that to do. It's not a celebration of carnivores, making a big shish kebab. It's korbanot, it's a mitzvah. I don't understand what korbanot tamid has to do with something. I don't. I can come up with some excuses. And I'll tell you the truth. Even the mitzvot that make sense don't make sense to me. Because what do I know about them? Do I know what... Listen, I can hardly explain to you why I do what I do. You want me to explain to you what a Kadosh Baruch Hu wants for me to do in the mitzvah? What the mitzvah means? It's above and beyond. I might think that this is what it means. But do I really know what it means? Absolutely not. When it says kabed et avicha ve'et imecha, why kabed avicha et imecha? How about your great uncle? How about your uncle? How about your father's mistress? How about that? You should respect them also. You respect church. When does it? I don't understand anything, and I do it because the Torah told me to do. I don't understand. I realize that I don't. One time I thought I understood everything. I don't understand a thing. I do it because I need to do it. It needs to be done. Somebody needs to do it. I'm here. My shift, and I'm doing it. That's it. I'm going to ponder, why do I do this? You know how many things I have to ponder and actually fix and worry about? I need to worry about why this mitzvah makes sense or doesn't make sense. And it doesn't mean that I'm trying to escape. It doesn't mean I'm fanatic. It doesn't mean I don't want to think. It doesn't mean I'm a robot. Believe me, I am not. It's just, I realized that it's all excuses that I make. I don't even know the slightest reason for a mitzvah. A slightest mitzvah I don't understand. I think I could come up with some excuses, but who said that this is what it is? I mean, after all, I am a human and He is God. Right? Again, if a table, you think a table understands why the carpenter made it? And I'll tell you that. There are greater chances for a table to understand what goes in the carpenter's mind than I understand what HaKadosh Baruch Hu had in mind. I'll tell you that. Let's put things in perspective. There's not a problem admitting that I don't know. And it's okay not to know. If I know, I'll put it behind. How many of you got your degree and never looked in a book again? Huh? That's why we have such great doctors. Right, doctor? Let me take a sip. My throat is dry. You put something in my coffee, doctor? Any herbs? Anyway, when we say that the para aduma needs to be timima, needs to be whole, she'en bamum, there's no blemish to it whatsoever, so as your emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to be tamim, with no blemish in it. It says in the Torah, Torah Hashem timima, meshivat nafesh, as in Psalms 18, verse 9. Right, that's what it says there. That all the chataim, all the sins come from hitrachkut min Torah, from removing yourself, putting a distance between you and the Torah. If you're really close to the Torah, there's very little chance you're going to do a chet. But all the chataim, there's a distance, there's a gap there. There's a gap between the light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that actually gives us life and revival, and we feel. That's why you can see a guy who is 90 years old, he still learns Torah because the body is falling apart, but the Torah, that nuclear reactor inside of him is still working at full capacity because he's learning. He's mechayeh nefesh. That's what it says. Mashivat nefesh. It revives you. Yes, his body is falling apart, but the light is still glowing from him. Think about those things. And when we say, right, about removing from the Torah, who is the furthest removed from the Torah? Who is the furthest removed from the Torah? Which entity is the furthest removed from the Torah? Come on, guys. Which one is the furthest from the Torah? A dead person. A met. He's furthest removed. He can never reach the Torah. He's dead. Racht alav, ella, mate, maskin. He's dead. There's nothing in him from the light of the Torah on a dead person. So how does a person start to die? Slowly, by having questions. But not questions in order to find the answers. Questions in order to ask questions. So that's something many times I tell a guy, he asks me a quote-unquote problematic question. I ask him, do you really want to know, or you just want to ask the question? Are you really willing to make a change in your life, a commitment to change in your life if I give you the answer? Yes or no? Yes, let's talk. No, a waste of my time, a waste of your time. As I told you before, you cannot help everybody. There will be plenty of people you will have to do your spiritual triage to put to the side. You cannot help everybody. Better you help, right, doctor? How's the triage go, right? That's what we do in triage? That's it, yeah. Right? We assess who has a chance to live, who can live by himself, who is going to die anyway, and who we can help. These are the people we help first. Those who are going to die, no, sorry, what can you do? Somebody got to make this decision. And the same thing here, right? So when you have those questions and the doubts and so on and so forth, you are in a state of choser tamimut, of lack of wholeness. Because it says, Tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. Tamim tiyeh, Torah tzmima, right? And you get the thing. Therefore I need emunah pshuta. I need to believe, simple belief in Hashem, right? Uhu and hu, Moshe Avdo. That Moshe gave, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Moshe the Torah, and that's how we got it. Not like the conservative, the reform. Oh, Torah was written in Har Sinai. No, it was not. It was given through the sages, and slowly it was changed and altered and this. That's like, I'm sorry to tell you, I would probably have more in common talking with an evangelical Christian or with a Muslim than with a conservative Jew regarding to the validity of the Torah. At least they believe in half of it. The other ones don't believe in nothing. They think some kind of folklore legend. What do we, Pocahontas stories here? Okay? And what do we say? Emunat Chachamim, right? How the Ashkenazim sing? They have a song. Old men wach zullen kamen le'emunah shelema le'emunas chachamim, right? Emunat chachamim has to be shlema, tamim. Right? In Motzei Shabbat, that's what you guys say, no? We have to talk, Isn't what kind of Ashkenazi are you? No. So tamim means not innocent, means complete, whole. And there's no such thing as half a thing. Half a thing means it's only half full or half this, right? There are many things that we want to do only half of the Torah, right? I want to keep Shabbat, so I'm going to do the meal because I like it. It's a family thing. We all sit down together in the meal. However, to make the kiddush or not to turn the TV at home, I can't do that. I really cannot do that. So I want to make kiddush and I watch TV as well. You see what an oxymoron that is? Forget about the halachic issues while you can. Out of a philosophical point of view, out of a truthfulness point of view, it is unacceptable to make the kiddush and to watch TV, even if you set it by a timer. Well, can you give birth and still be pregnant? I mean, still be virgin? Hell no, we can't do that. Can't be done. Can't be done. Even if she's, right, doctor? Even if she does a C-section, just, it will rip because of the pressure of the baby. You can't give birth, especially vaginally, and be right, and be a virgin again. Give birth and be a virgin. It's impossible. It's impossible to make kiddush or watch TV. Impossible. Yes, I can technically do that, but you're not doing anything. It's not tamim. It's not avodat Hashem. You're doing a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing for you to make kiddush. It's not a part of your avodat Hashem. It's a cultural thing for you to put tefillin. It's a cultural thing for you to come to shul and get the kumbaya together. Everybody singing on Shabbat, right? That's a singing, Red Army Choir. We are singing, right? Right? You know what it is? It's a. I don't tell you. What? Makam Kuzar.
It's like marching.
No marching. You don't know marching. What persons? You don't know anything. No, it's an episode. Right? La vida do poder aquí que no puedo. What are you, Asperger's? Walking like this? No, it's a tavern song. La la la. It's a song. Right?
Beers.
No beers. Arak. La vida do poder aquí. I'll give my life for the arak. Right? So it can't do this. This is, yes, you're coming to shul. Yes, you're coming to keep Shabbat. But it's external. It's external. It's not avodat Hashem. It's external. Avodat Hashem is complete. You're not doing it from the inside. And that's why we are doing so poorly in terms of our spirituality. It's never being addressed. Those things are not being addressed. And maybe because we don't learn those spiritual things. Spirituality became like a dirty word in modern Judaism. We can't talk about that. And you tell to somebody else spirituality, right away they're thinking about smoking ganja. No, we're not in Colorado, man. That has nothing to do with that. It's complete, it's whole. It comes from within. It's not external. And And Torah Hashem has to be, there's no way around it. There's no way around it. It has to be complete. I can't say, you know what, Rabbi, it takes me time to do this. Slowly, I'm making my step. I'm not at that level yet. I'm trying to keep Shabbat slowly. The answer is no. You are or you're not. I don't play those games. Homie, don't play that. Let me ask you a question. You marry a girl. And she had other boyfriends before you. You know, you're not the first and one and only. You're not Barry White. Let me tell you that. What would you say if your wife would tell you, well, you know, I had previously 10 lovers before you. I'm slowly going to win off them, and then I'm going to be completely yours. It's going to take me a while, but slowly I'll be there. I'll start with 10, and then every month or every year I'll drop one until I'll be completely yours. God said, like, yeah, Habibi, here's the door. Woohoo, out of here. Or you or me, but well, that's not going to work. What do you think you do to HaKadosh Baruch Hu when you tell him, I'm going to keep Shabbat slowly? You're betraying him. It's a betrayal. Don't go after the idols. These are your idols. You can't be Eved Hashem and have other masters. You can't do that. You can't. If you're going to hold a job, right? You work for me. Oh, about forget it. I'll work for you. Comes 2 o'clock and says, boss, could I talk to you for 1 second? I said, sure, please. No, I don't have time to I gotta go. What's the matter? Is an emergency at home? Anything happened? No, I have my other boss in my other job is looking for me. I need to go. What do you mean other job? Well, I have a few jobs, you know, and he needs me now. Then I gotta go. What would you tell me? Oh, you can go, but don't bother to come back. But slowly, boss, you know, I'm going to take less hours. No, mister, it doesn't work like that. You work here, you're committed here, that's it. There's no commitment in our behalf to what we really believe. And that we try to hold the stick, we try to eat the cake and have it too. That's not going to happen. Comes the Parah Adumah and tells us that. Not understanding what Parah Adumah. Yes, we understand. And let me tell you something. The famous Midrash. The Midrash tells us like this, right? Why do we do Parah Adumah? Right? So, what is it like? That a mother came with her child to the king's palace, and he pooped all over the palace, right? Comes the minister, it says, let the mother clean up her son's wrongdoing. Here too came the Parah Adumah and overcomes the Chet of the Egel. But what happened in the Chet of the Egel when we did the Egel? We says, Ele Elokecha Yisrael, this is your God Israel. Comes the Parah Adumah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us a chance to take Parah Adumah. And now you do a mitzvah with the parah that you don't understand, and you're going to, this is how the kapara. How is the kapara? Every single time we do a mitzvah that we don't understand, without wondering about it, it's a small kapara, it's a small atonement for the capital sin that we made with the ego. Every time you have questions and you push away certain parts of that, I don't keep second day of Yom Tov. Well, it doesn't make sense to me. I came from Israel, I can't do that. The rabbi told me it's okay. If I go visit it once in 3 years, I can do so. No, it's wrong. That's not what it is. You here, you keep second day. You do this, that's what it is. You keep the Torah whole. Every time you do so, it's a small atonement for the sin that we did in the Egel. So, Abatai, lekking is an opportunity for you to elevate yourself spiritually. Every time you surrender to that urge to get what you don't have, you decline spiritually. It will help you with your budgets. Of course, everybody's got to have a budget. You can't be spenders with no control, because when you are a spender with no control, it indicates a very low spiritual state that you're at. So if you don't have it, say, Baruch Hashem, I don't need it. And that's what it is. Shabbat Shalom.